I'm talking about Thanksgiving, and it is a weird movie, and I absolutely love it. So let's get into it. Thanksgiving is directed by Eli Roth, and it's really cool. So it's based on a fake trailer that was in the Grindhouse movie, and I just think from a fake trailer that was made using the actors from Hostel Part 2, this really works, and it's actually way better than I expected. Because I'm British, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I just thought this should be a load of garbage, but I'm pleasantly surprised, and I think this could be the next Scream. Scream had that kind of effect on people where they were just like, this is cool, this is hip, this is popular at the moment. I'm really into this. It's kind of comedic, it's kind of scary, it's kind of creepy, it's kind of gory. And that's exactly what this movie has. It has that exact same effect on me. It's not similar to Hostel at all, that movie back there. It's not similar to Hostel in the slightest, where in that movie's very mean, it's very 2000s, it's very I don't know, very early 2000s America, where it's very frat, basically. It's a very frat bro movie. Whereas this movie, it is nothing of the sort. It's kind of, as I said, very Scream inspired, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about it, just the Scream inspiration of the movie. Of course, everyone's a Scream fan. I'm sure Eli Roth is also a Scream fan, and frankly, I think it's really cool. But yeah, as I was saying, this movie is really cool. It's not just your typical, god, loads of gore movie. It's fun. It's got a lot of good scenes in there. A lot of actually really heartfelt scenes in the movie as well with the main characters. And speaking of the main characters, I did not expect Addison Rae to do a good job in the slightest, because, TikToker, actress, the moment I saw that she was going to be in this movie, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is going to be a disaster. What is Eli Roth smoking? But I was pleasantly surprised, and I think Eli Roth was smoking the right kind of stuff, because this movie's pretty cool. Just saying. So, it takes place during Thanksgiving in a fictional town called Plymouth, Massachusetts, which is supposed to be the birthplace of Thanksgiving. It's supposed to be this rural town where it's got a lot of history that you don't really know of in this movie. And the atmosphere turns really deadly as the annual Black Friday frenzy at the local Wright Mart. Basically, the main characters, they're the Wright family. That's nice. Just saying. Real nice. But yeah, and the store just sort of spirals out of control, and it claims a lot of lives in the process. And I just gotta say, that scene where everyone's going to buy all their stuff, and they're just like, get off my stuff! And they're just beating each other to death and all of that. That was brutal. That is possibly one of the greatest opening scenes in a horror movie I've ever seen. Hint, hint, until mine comes out. But, yeah, I mean, this movie is a lot of fun, and I think that it's definitely going to be a cult classic. It already is, in my opinion. But I think this could be the next Scream. I mean, just going back to the plot, it's very cool. So a year after the massacre, there's a masked assailant called the Carver, John Carver, and he begins targeting those involved in the tragic incident, aka the people who filmed it, posted it online. Sort of just ruined the lives for people who had family who possibly died in the massacre, and were just posted online videos of them dying. The people in this movie you really love to hate, and it's kind of like Hostel in a way, where you want to see them die, but then you also enjoy watching them die. So what does that say about you? It kind of brings a moral dilemma, and that's what I really like from Eli Roth's kind of writing for movies, because he is a really good writer when it comes to horror movies, and I think he is one of the greatest horror directors of the current generation. And honestly, I think he could become one of the greatest horror directors of all time. His mentor was literally Quentin Tarantino. They're buddies. He's obviously gonna make something good every time he makes a movie. Besides Borderlands, that looks utter trash. But there was a lot of behind the scenes drama with that. So I'm not gonna blame Eli Roth for that, thankfully. But yeah, so this movie follows Jessica, who's played by Addison Rae. I just have to say, she did an alright job. I don't think that she's the best actress still. I think she's got a lot to learn. But it's not as bad as that Netflix remake of She's All That she did. Because that was disgraceful. I just have to say it. Like, what were you doing there? But yeah, so this movie follows Jessica and her friends, and they become sort of hunted by the mysterious John Carver. And they unravel a sinister web of secrets and betrayal. More specifically, the betrayal by a certain character in this movie who literally, I could not see it being him, besides from one scene in the opening scene, which kind of tells you, yeah, that makes sense now. But besides from that, you don't see anything. And, in this movie, it's actually really cool to see Jessica's journey to uncover John Carver's identity. And it kind of leads her to the shocking revelations of the true culprit behind the carnage. And there's literally danger lurking at every turn in this movie, and it is amazing, and it's really fun to watch everything happen. And the main character, Jessica, she has to confront the twisted individual behind the mask. I'm not going to say who it is, of course. Spoilers for later in the video, these. But, it's just really cool, and I really like this movie, and I think the fact that we're literally getting a sequel already tells you the fact that this was a success. This is the new Scream. This is the new big horror franchise that we're going to get like 1 billion sequels to. Get excited. Just wait till they do Thanksgiving in space. If that ever happens, I'm just going to say, called it. But I doubt they will go that far because Eli Roth usually dips out of this after like the second movie of a franchise, like he did with Hostel, like he did with Cabin Fever. I mean, he usually executive produces those last ones, like the third ones in a trilogy, but those are never good. So hopefully he stays around until the third one of these if they're going to make 3. But I don't know, I kind of like it just being 2 movies, but a trilogy is always the way to go. As, Scream 3 says, a trilogy is always the perfect ending to things. And the perfect trilogy, you gotta have certain rules. There are certain rules that you need to abide by in order to make a good trilogy. I can't remember them because, Scream 3 isn't my favourite, but there are certain rules. And yeah, well, I'm just going to get into spoiler segments for Thanksgiving now, so if you don't want to hear those, click off the video or stick around once you go watch the movie. Or come back once you watch the movie. I don't know why I said stick around once you go watch the movie. Come back here once you watch the movie because I'm getting into spoilers right now. Alright, so spoilers for Thanksgiving. This movie is really cool. Like that, I was going to talk about the opening scene. That scene where they're just trodden over each other, the person's head gets smushed on the floor, the people are probably bashing on her head, the guy gets caught in the door and just torn apart, like when he runs through the door, there's broken glass that just cuts his neck open, slits his throat. Oh my god, it was brutal, and I loved that opening scene. Like, I'm a gore guy, like, that movie was awesome! And, like, I don't really think that there's been a really gory horror movie recently, besides... I can't even think of other ones besides this that have been this gory that I've watched recently besides Terrifier 2. I'm so excited for Terrifier 3. But, like, yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of fun watching these movies just come out of nowhere and just be a huge success. And it's a lot of fun just watching Eli Roth make great movies. And just talking about the villain of the movie, played by Patrick Dempsey, he's pretty cool. Like, the fact that he did all of this just because he was having an affair with the original mum before the stepmom comes in. And then the moment she dies, he blames the dad, and he's just like, I'm gonna kill all of you. I mean, he probably also blames the kids for filming it and posting it on the internet, which, is fair. Like, if someone in my family passed away brutally and then a bunch of stupid TikTokers posted it online, I'd probably want to do horrible things to them as well. Whether I'd actually do them, I don't know, because that would be horribly illegal and probably pretty brutal. But I'd probably want to. I just probably wouldn't. But yeah, I mean, his entire arc in this movie, he never really changes. He just always keeps. In fact, I don't think we even get a body for him in this movie. He just sort of disappears, which I really like because that does leave room open for him in the sequel. And the movie does kind of end suddenly. Like, I didn't expect the ending of this movie. But in my opinion, it does really work. And if you're just going into this for a good time horror movie, it's definitely one of those movies that you'll like. You will really enjoy watching Thanksgiving. It's a great movie, in my opinion. And in critics' opinions as well. This movie did really well on Rotten Tomatoes, in my opinion. And on IMDb, it didn't do the best, but IMDb, who cares? That's just where you want to go to find out the cast for movies these days, to be honest. No one really goes and uses IMDb to rate movies unless, you're a psychopath. Maybe I should start ranking things on IMDb, but I mean, this movie is very cool. I just have to say. There are a lot of fun scenes. There is a lot of good direction. The gore in it, they cook a person alive and then force someone to eat them. This is Hannibal levels of brutal. It's just so creepy and so disgusting at the same time. You don't want to watch it, but then what's gonna happen next? You have to keep your eyes open. You have to see what's gonna happen. And that's what I really love about Eli Roth movies. You want to close your eyes, you want to turn it off, but you can't because you have to see what happens next. You want to see if they survive. You want to see if they get out. You want to see if they kill the captor. You want to see if they get the villain. You want to see if they beat the killer. You want to see if they unmask them. You want to see if they just escape and never see them again. You want to see if they get killed off in the sequel for no utter reason. I'm still angry about that, Eli. Fix it. Make a Hostel recall and fix what happens to Paxton. I'm so sad still. But yeah, that's just my review for Thanksgiving, though. What do you guys think of Thanksgiving? I think it's a great movie. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this movie. Until next time, it's February and I'm reviewing a movie named Thanksgiving. Nowhere near Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.